Have you ever looked at a narrow strip of water on a map and wondered how something so small could hold the fate of the entire world? Today we're diving into one of the most important and geopolitically intense choke points on Earth, the Strait of Hormuz, through which a massive share of the world's oil tankers pass every single day. Let's begin. Imagine, on one side, the Persian Gulf, on the other, the Gulf of Oman. And in between, just a few kilometers of a narrow passage, a passage that, if blocked, could shake the entire global economy. Located in the heart of the Middle East, this narrow waterway, yes, this is the Strait of Hormuz. In news analysis and every discussion of conflict or war, just the mention of its name creates an invisible pressure across the world, because this narrow strait stands as a critical key to the balance of the global economy. Through this thin maritime corridor, countless ships move every day, carrying essential crude oil, and with it, the future stability of the world economy. But the real question is this just a waterway, or is there something deeper hidden beneath it, something we still don't fully understand? Because the truth is, the Hormuz Strait is far more than what we see on the surface. It is not just a line on a map. It is one of the most tense and high-risk regions in the world. The reality here is unusual. Nature, history, and the struggle for human survival all combine into a complex geography. Let's imagine for a moment a place where the heat of the sun is so intense that midday feels like everything comes to a standstill. Hot winds, dry land, and fresh water becomes an extremely rare resource. A place where survival itself is the greatest challenge. And yet, for thousands of years, empires have risen here. Merchants have crossed vast oceans, and explorers have risked their lives to pass through. But why? What is it about this place that keeps pulling people back again and again? To answer that question, you don't just look at Hormuz, you have to feel it. Stepping onto Hormuz Island, the first thing you notice is its surreal colors: red, yellow, orange, purple, mountains layered like natural architecture, as if nature itself painted a massive canvas. But behind this beauty lies millions of years of history, volcanic heat, ocean pressure, and constant geological transformation, all shaping every layer of this island. These mountains are not just rocks, they are records of time itself. Each layer tells a story. Sometimes fire, sometimes water, sometimes erosion, but within this beauty lies a harsh reality. Life here is not easy. The people of this island don't fight nature. They adapt to it because they know nature cannot be changed, so they must change themselves. Life moves with the heat. Work begins at dawn, midday brings a pause, and life resumes again in the evening. Homes are built in a way that allows airflow and reduces heat. Thick walls, small windows, everything designed with intention. This place teaches a lesson. Survival is not about wealth alone. It is about adaptation. But alongside this quiet reality, massive oil tankers pass every single day. From a distance, they look like floating cities. On one side, billions of dollars in global commerce. On the other, small fishing communities. Because ocean temperatures are rising, pollution is increasing, and pressure from maritime traffic is growing. Coral reefs are slowly weakening. Systems that survived for thousands of years are now disappearing. Coral loss means fewer fish, and fewer fish reshapes entire coastal livelihoods. Next to it are mangrove forests, saltwater ecosystems that support countless marine species. But even these forests are now under threat. Pollution, heat, industrial activity, all pushing the balance toward collapse. And layered on top of this environmental crisis is rising geopolitical tension. Global powers constantly watch this corridor, because nearly 20% of the world's oil supply passes through this single route every day, meaning even the slightest disruption can send shockwaves across the entire global system. A single accident, a confrontation, a blockade, and oil prices can spike instantly. Transport costs rise, food prices rise, and the global economy feels the pressure immediately. Yet even in all of this, people here continue their daily lives. For them, the priority is simple. Will there be fish today? What will the wind be like? How will the day unfold? On one side, global tension, on the other, ordinary life. And this contrast is what makes Hormuz so profound. But the question remains, how long can this balance last? Because the world is changing. Ocean temperatures are rising, pollution is increasing, and political pressure continues to build. And the effects of these changes are first felt in places like this, where the balance is extremely fragile. Hormuz is exactly that kind of place. Even a small change here can trigger massive global consequences. Coral collapse reduces fish populations. Loss of forests breaks food chains, and disruptions in oil transport shake entire economies. Everything is interconnected, which is why Hormuz is not just a waterway. It is a warning sign. It teaches us that survival is not just about strength, but about adaptation, because the world is changing, slowly, but inevitably. But the reality doesn't end here. This narrow waterway now sits at the center of one of the most intense geopolitical flashpoints in the world. On one side, Iran. On the other, the United States. A long-standing tension between two major powers has made this waterway even more uncertain, because Iran controls the northern coastline, while to the south are the United Arab Emirates and Oman, meaning this narrow passage sits at the intersection of global trade, military strategy, and economic power. In recent years, naval presence has increased. Drone surveillance has intensified, and incidents involving detained oil tankers have occurred. Each time something happens, global markets react instantly. Because everyone understands, risk in this waterway means risk for the entire world. Iran has repeatedly warned that under pressure, it could close this strait, and if that ever happens, a global energy crisis would follow. Oil prices would surge. Air travel would be disrupted, global shipping would slow down, and the world economy would come under severe strain. This is why Hormuz is not just geography. It is a question of strategic survival. Every vessel that passes through here is not just commerce. It is part of a delicate balance of power. Even when the sea appears calm, tension always exists beneath the surface. A miscalculation, a military exercise, a misunderstanding, and the entire global equilibrium could shift. This is why this narrow waterway remains one of the most important. On one hand, Iran's strategic positioning, on the other, the United States and its allies working for decades to maintain navigation security, trade flow, and stability. This is not one-dimensional conflict. It is a long-standing strategic balancing act. Pressure versus stability. Control versus open trade. After hearing all of this, what do you think? Will the crisis in the Strait of Hormuz ever truly come to an end? Or will normal life in Hormuz always remain just an idea? You can share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel Reality Docs Decode for more documentaries like this. We'll see you in the next episode with another powerful and important story. Thank you, and until then, stay curious.